Hi, I'm Rebby. I've been with Mantis for 6 years as one of their sales reps. I'm going to show you how to use the Mantis X10 and the benchmark drill today. First, I'm going to take it and I'm going to mount it onto my handgun. So there's a little tab here that you pull down on. I'm going to pull that down as soon as I've got it on the rail, and then it clicks into place and locks onto the Picatinny rail of your handgun. Then I'm going to take it, and there's this square power button here. Click it on, it flashes green until it is connected with the Bluetooth. So it's connecting. Then we get to the drill screen. Mantis X benchmark. It needs to calibrate on a still surface. So you place the entire gun with the Mantis X10 on a still surface, and it only takes a few seconds to calibrate. So that's how easy the whole unit is to set up before you start training in any drill. I want to check my drill settings, so it's dry fire, right hand. I can switch that to right or left, and forward mounted. Forward mounted is extremely important because if you have it flipped on backwards, it's going to show the directions all wonky. So if you have issues with shot detection, it might be because you don't have the tab to lock it in place towards your target. You have it towards your body instead. You can match up this with the picture on your screen, and you should be good to go from there. Now, I'm going to press start. The first screen on the Mantis X benchmark page that shows up is the scoring page. I'm going to skip that for now and go to the live trace. Click the live trace screen. It's still because it's right there on the table. Now you can see all my movement right now. That's me moving as we speak. So I'm going to pick a target outside of your guys' range of view, take a few shots, and I'm going to show you what it's tracking from there. Okay, I took 3 shots. Click stop, done. This is everything for each shot. So blue is going to be as I was aiming. Then once we get to yellow, that's going to be the trigger press back. So as I pulled the trigger back, my muzzle kind of went over and to the left before my shot broke. Then we've got down and to the left. So if I click on that little marker tab, it's going to show me the direction with that highlighted red slice. And I did the same thing on my 3rd shot. If I swipe over, I can bring myself to one of the data screens. And then the most important data screen you're going to look at is what I call the diagnostic page, or the one with the pie slices. If I click the one that goes down and to the left, it's going to give me my correct image and say that I was slapping the trigger, and then the incorrect. So I can visually compare the two. And then the first paragraph is going to explain what I did wrong, and the second paragraph is explaining how I can correct it. Come back. I also had a little bit of too little trigger finger. So same setup. Correct image, incorrect image, visually compare the two, how I did it wrong, and then how to fix the issue. This is just basic marksmanship, so you can really work on your trigger presses, whether it's dry fire at home or even live fire on the range, to get all of your fundamentals figured out before you even spend the money on the ammo. Now we've got the Mantis X benchmark scoring page right here. So it's going to show me my average score, my total time, and you can see that it's got some red trophies on there. That red trophy is going to be my highest score. The gray is my lowest. The red clock on fire that you can barely see in the corner is going to be my fastest split, and the gray one is going to be my slowest. You can compare how your scoring differentiates with how fast you're shooting. So let's say your lowest score correlated with your fastest time. That might mean that you need to slow it down a little bit as you're working on the fundamentals. Or let's say your slowest time equaled the best shot, which is Not the case here. But if it did, that might mean that when you take your time, you get higher scores or you're better at accuracy there. You can kind of scroll back and forth here. I skipped this page, but the top half of this page is going to show you each score, just kind of how you progressed over the stage. So did you start at 90s and then as you shot, you got worse and worse, or did you start worse and get better? Or did you fluctuate through? Then the bottom piece is going to show you the trigger press movement versus your hold movement. So as you're aiming versus the movement of the trigger press, that correlates with this screen right here. So the more blue you have, the thicker that blue line will be, as well as the more yellow you have, the same. You would want to try to reduce these pie slices as little as possible. So let's look at my number 2 versus my number 3. So number 2, you can see how close and tight that is versus number 3, kind of like spread out a little bit more. Okay, each ring on this screen, just so that you have a little bit of idea of how like sensitive it is. The first ring is going to be 1/16th of a degree, and then every ring outside of that is going to be 1/8 of a degree. So it's pretty significant how detailed this trace is. Up in the top right, you'll see that it had a negative 3.4 degrees cant, and that's just me holding the gun a little bit over and to the left. Click on 2, negative 3.3, and negative 3.1. You're looking for consistency when it comes to your cant. It doesn't have to be perfectly level and 0 because our bodies aren't all perfectly level. So as long as you can pull up the same way every time and it works for you, that's the consistency we're looking for. You can delete your shots in the bottom right corner, or you can click the note button and add in notes. So you can see that I have cover, no cover, 10 yards, Lena grip versus a normal grip. These are just a few of the things that I've done, like sitting from a couch, just to test the difference between everything. Okay, if you have any questions over the app and what each of the screens mean, you can click the info button in the top left, and it's going to walk you through all of the data that is displayed on the screen and how to use it. Come over. And that should be it for the Mantis X benchmark drill. One way you can use the benchmark drill is to make sure that once a week, once a month, you're just taking your time and taking 10 shots to see where you're at and how you've improved over time. Okay, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to help you. Thanks, and have a good one.